So what do I do with my doubt? Well, let me first start with this. God saw your doubt coming. Like he's not surprised. Like all of a sudden he woke up and he's like, oh snap, Tim's doubting today. I had no idea, you know? In fact, as the Bible was being put together, there's a book, and the very back side of it's called the Book of Jude. And Jude says this, Jude 1:22, be merciful to those who doubt. This idea of doubt, we're so afraid of doubt in the church because maybe we think doubt's contagious. Maybe we think doubt just destroys things. But the truth is that faith and doubt are so connected. Like the idea of someone who's inside of the church having doubts, it's connected to the idea of faith already. It's saying, look, I think I want this to be true, but I just can't figure out how to get what's here to that conclusion. And I don't know how to make that journey. I don't know the steps to take to get from what logically makes sense here to what you say the answer is. And so I'm doubting because I would like for it to be true. I'm just not sure how it can be true. And so I want to express that doubt. I want to say it out loud. And so in that, Jude's just saying, hey, have mercy for people who are doubting. And we talked about the idea that people that are followers of Jesus should be mercy people just a few weeks ago. In other words, there are probably some things that people deserve, that John deserved a reprimand. Remember the Jordan River? Remember, I'm the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world? To Thomas, bro, I told you this a million times. And the people that you trust most told you, why did you not believe? Like there is probably some reprimand that's due. However, as mercy people, we would say, hey, because we're merciful, not because we get to be the authors and givers of mercy, but because we want to be merciful because Jesus is merciful and we want to be like Jesus, then we would respond in the very same way. We would say, hey, I get it. Your doubt is welcome here. Your questions are valid. God cares about your trust in him. So he doesn't want fake trust, pretend trust. Let's just get along so everybody doesn't think bad about me trust. He wants legit trust. In fact, Jesus says this, Matthew 7:7-8. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. And the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Now, when we read this in original language, this ask, seek, and knock, it's written in a specific grammatical mood that gives us the indication of kind of what is the direction that this phrase is giving us. And so you can read it, ask, seek, and knock, and you can read it like, okay, if I want to enter into a relationship with Jesus, I'm going to ask Jesus, I'm going to seek after Jesus, and I'm going to go up to salvation's door and knock on it and say, Jesus, are you in there? And he's going to open it up and say, welcome home. We can read it that way. However, the grammatical mood of the Greek when we read it is not that it's a one-time thing, but it's an ongoing participatory thing for our entire life. That we continue to ask, we continue to seek, we continue to knock. It's not a one-time moment thing. If you're a follower of Jesus, this becomes the posture of our life. We will continue to ask, continue to seek, continue to knock. We will ask, we will bring our questions, we will bring our needs, we will bring our doubts. We will seek, we'll actively pursue, we will search out truth, we will wrestle with it, we will knock. What is the point of knocking, right? What is the point of knocking? Penny, you know what I'm saying? It's to let the person on the other side know, I'm at the door, I'm here. That's the only reason we knock, to let somebody know, I'm here. So Jesus is saying, keep knocking. Why would Jesus make such a declaration? Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. Because Jesus knows who's on the other side of the door. Jesus already knows the answers to the questions. Now maybe though, it's like, all right, yeah, well, we've heard that Bible verse before a million times. But how do you, like in proverbial land, it's like, okay, we're gonna ask, seek, knock. How do you do that, you know? Like practically, how do we actually ask, seek, and knock? Well, I'd say three things I'll give you this morning, just real quick. And I think it's important we do them in this order, right? First thing is, I would say don't hide your doubt. Take it to God in prayer. Now, you're like, I don't want to talk to God about it. You should talk to God about it. And you might be thinking, well, I don't even know how to talk to God. It's not hard. You just think thoughts in his direction. He hears them. Like, he understands what phone call mentally is for him and not for him. You know what I'm saying? So he hears it. So I would be honest. I would say, hey, here's the deal. I got a doubt. I've been wrestling with this. This is a big deal to me, and I should start by telling you. Don't tell somebody else first. Tell him. Tell him. Why would you not tell him? You think he's afraid of your question? If he's afraid of your question, he's not God. You think your question has put the fear of God in God? No. No. He's not afraid. He's not terrified. He's not worried that he won't be able to give you an answer. He's not worried about any of those things. So that's step one. I would tell God about it. I'm not saying that that's going to fix it. I'm not saying that he's going to talk back. I'm not saying that he's going to give you an answer anytime soon. In fact, the answer might come in step 2 and step 3. I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about him, if we're going to have doubts about something he has involved in, I think it's important we should bring him into the conversation. Second thing I would do is I would ask a spiritual big brother, big sister, or father, mother in the faith, someone who's further along in their spirituality, their spiritual journey than you are. And you probably know someone like that. You might not have a close relationship with someone, but I guarantee you know someone. Just look around the room. There's probably somebody in here that you've talked to 1 or 2 times that you can just tell, I bet they've been following Jesus longer than I have. And I'm telling you, you should go ask them. You should go ask them. If you found a connection with somebody and you're like, man, we talk about the Braves, or we talk for 30 minutes outside on the grass about what kind of tractors these things were, and you can just tell, like, man, I can just tell they're a follower of Jesus. You should go ask them, like, hey, here's the deal. But most of you have someone, it could be a family member or somebody else that you already know, like you're actually close with. You should go ask them, say, hey, look, I talked to God about this. He did not write me a letter back. And so the step 2, the pastor said at church was, I should tell someone who's been doing Jesus following longer than I have. And so I wanted to share with you, this is a question I've had and I struggle with it. And I don't mean I struggle with it in terms of I don't know the answer. I mean, I struggle with it in terms of it makes me doubt. How do you handle this question? Ask them. Ask them. I don't know what their answer is going to be. I don't know what your question is. But you should ask them. Third thing. Now, it's important. Here's the deal. Some of you are going to skip to 3 without doing 1 and 2. Don't do that. You're missing out. You're missing out. You're going to skip to 3 because it's going to be the easiest. It's going to be the one that requires the least amount of interpersonal conversation. And you're going to skip to 3, and I know you're going to skip to 3 because I'm going to get a text from you in like 20 minutes. But that's it. You can text us. You can text us any question you've got. Here's the deal. Any question of faith, not any question. I'm not doing your kids' math homework. But any faith question you got, if you got a question like, hey, I've been wondering about this. This creates doubt in me. Any question, you can text it anytime. Now, I'm not saying we respond anytime. I'm just saying we will respond. If you got a question, we will respond to it. Now, here's the deal. When we respond, it's going to be, I'm going to shoot you to a podcast you should listen to that addresses your question, or I'm going to send you a link to an Amazon book, or maybe I've got a PDF that I've already, or maybe I've done a message on it in a year past or a few months ago if you're new with us, and I'll shoot you that. So it is going to require some work on your end, right? That whole seek, the ask, seek, find. Like, I'm not spoon feeding. If you wanted me to put you in your chair, put the tray on it, put your bib on you, and spoon feed, I got a 5-month-old hole. We're already doing that. I ain't got time for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to eat it yourself. But I will send you resources. It could be a book. Like I said, went through all the options. It could be any of those things that says, hey, this addresses that big question you've got. And it might create more questions, and you're okay to then ask those more questions. It's all right. Or if we go through those things, you're like, look, I'm still having trouble with this. If you want to get coffee, I don't drink coffee, but you can drink coffee, I'll watch you drink coffee, and we will talk. Here's what you can't do. I mean, you can, just don't. Don't isolate yourself with your doubt. Because that's what'll happen. We'll feel like I'm less than because I've got doubts. That I don't want to let them know that I'm struggling with this part of faith. I don't want to say it out loud because of what they'll think about me. The thing is, church, if myself or our staff or anybody else thinks less of you because you ask an honest question, they're the ones with the problem, not you. Jude says we should be merciful to people who have doubt. And you might say, I don't need anybody's charity mercy. Yeah, I think that's the whole core of Christianity is we might not think we need it, doesn't mean it's not the best thing for us.